Good afternoon. I know that for some of those who were here yesterday, after having had time to go home and reflect on what was said, there is some unfinished business, new questions that came up, and so before moving on to new territory today, anyone who would like to follow through on something still hanging from yesterday, please raise your hand.
I'm almost afraid to ask. This has to do with the answer you gave me. Pardon me? Is it not on? Is it okay?
Yes.
It had to do with the question I asked you yesterday about a relationship, and you said I was 75% of the way through. The last 25% was the unpleasant part, or the hardest part. And I'm trying to figure out how to ask this. Do I have the right idea about what that 25% might be?
Yes, you do.
Was it what I told Anne last night?
Indeed.
That's not that unpleasant. It's different. Okay.
Then let it go.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hands. Yes.
Well, thanks for this opportunity to retouch what was said. For me, I don't want to make the mistake of overanalyzing or getting my attention where it doesn't belong, as far as your message was concerned to me yesterday, and interpretation, analyzing. And yet, I have to admit, honestly, that part of me was upset about it. I think mainly because I don't understand, and maybe I'm not meant to understand, quote unquote, the message, but you can tell me that now if it would be better for me to just let it be, or would it be...
Spit the question out.
Well, I guess it has to do with the whole idea of being stupid on Kauai and what it really means in terms of the timing. I think that's where I'm caught in feeling like I wasted 15 years being stupid, or was there just a portion of it?
I did not say you were stupid.
And I know you told me to be careful with that word, but
Indeed.
it caught me, it got me.
I'm glad it got your attention.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I also pointed out that whenever a shift occurs, whenever there is an influx of greater clarity, it automatically makes the place you were before appear to be a little more stupid, a place of greater ignorance. But I said, don't get hung up on that. Now, you can understand this. It just depends upon the way you're looking at it. Because you wrote a poem. Thank God I'm not who I thought I was. In order to be able to say, thank God I'm not who I thought I was, it means there had to have been an influx of inspiration that let you know more clearly who you really are. And the clarity then can either cause one of two things to happen. Either you can get hung up on how much less intelligent you were or how much less enlightened you were, or it can be a cause for rejoicing. Wow, thank God I'm not who I thought I was. Thank God I'm not as ignorant as I was. Thank God I am experiencing myself in a way that opens up whole new vistas of experience to me that I never would have embraced before when I didn't see myself or experience myself the way I am now. You see?
Yes, I do.
Now, The only thing that was stupid was a degree of comfort you came to feel in a situation where, as I said, your innate dignity was not being reflected back to you by your experience. To feel comfortable when less than the best, that is due you, is being experienced, is to be caught in a stupor that it's not your birthright to be stuck in. Now, you were not in this stupor the whole time you were on Kauai. It was only toward the end that you became comfortable with no more growth occurring. But even so, I will be very specific with you, it was only the last 17 or 18 months of your time there, and almost all of that time, you and I were in communication, and I was gently prying you loose. Now, again, do not take that. I am giving you practice at not taking it wrong. I am giving you opportunities to take it wrong, to give you practice at not taking it wrong. There is an inertia present when one is in a stupor. I did not say, you are in a stupor, get out of it. I gently pointed you in the right direction, and I gently encouraged you to take one step at a time. And if you will remember, there was a point at which I said you had 1 foot on the mainland and 1 foot on Kauai, and that there was perfect balance. You see? And I didn't say, get your other foot off Kauai. I did not even tell you that you were ultimately going to take your other foot off Kauai and move it to the mainland. And this is the way guidance works. It is gentle. It works with you in the way that elicits the least resistance and allows for maximum movement, even if the movement is slow. So, it was not that you were in a stupor for a long period of time. And while you were in it, the energies were already gathering to lift you out of it, to move you out of it, in the gentlest and the most loving way. So, you have absolutely no reason to sit in self-judgment. The simple fact is that all of you, at this moment, not experiencing being fully awake, not experiencing being fully enlightened, are in a stupid rest. Okay, you were saying.
Yes. The witnessing for others. When you talked about this before, thou shalt not bear false witness. That's what it was. In other words, we need to see what's true about each other and not what's false about each other. I think that's what I really meant.
The key thing to be aware of is that to whatever degree you become less defended against experiencing reality, and to whatever degree reality is clearer to you, everyone is blessed. In other words, your awakening is never a private affair. And therefore, every little bit of increasing clarity you experience is shared. But the point is, it's shared automatically, not shared because that's your intent. It is not a shared experience because that's what you want for everyone. It's just the way it works. When you withdraw some of your commitment to the mutual agreement to see things as they are not, that mutual agreement lessens, and those still involved in the mutual agreement cannot willfully keep the light turned down. This is good news. It's good news to just be aware of.
Yes. Thank you.
You are welcome.
I have one other really quick thing. A couple of years ago, when my son was right in the middle of his drug problems, I was coming over the mountains, really quite sad, and the skies were the most unbelievable I'd ever seen. So much so I had to pull over. First I was exclaiming to myself how incredibly beautiful it was. I pulled over to the side of the road and just sat there and took it in, and then I eventually went on. As I went on, I thought, gee, it's odd that everybody wasn't pulled over to the side of the road. And the next day I was telling this friend of mine, and he said, Jackie, that was for you. And I wonder, does this happen? I mean, it was the most unbelievable thing I'd ever seen.
Let's put it this way. It wasn't a special favor for you, but it was a moment in which you spontaneously became defenseless. And so more of reality registered with you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Any further unfinished business relative to yesterday? Right here.
Stupid rest, stupid comfort. We're not awake. We need to keep moving. What I'm hearing is there's no rest for the wicked. Can we find intelligent rest, intelligent comfort this side of awakening?
The ever increasingly clear experience of reality is accompanied by rest and peace and the absence or the increasing absence of conflict. Rest comes when you stop working so hard. Rest comes when you stop being willful. Rest is inevitable when you stop saying, Father, I'd rather see it my way. The closer you get to New York, the fewer miles you have to drive. The closer to your destination that you come, the more buoyant you are. The closer you are to your destination, the more you're filled with expectation.
The more consistently I keep my eye on the beam, I keep focusing on where I'm going, the less that I'm struggling with fatigue from driving.
Exactly. It's not the movement that is hard. It's the definitions and meanings you give to the movement or the process that makes it effortful.
Thank you.
At the last gathering, I used the illustration of the funnel, a very large funnel in which there a BB or a ball has been released, like the one in a roulette wheel. The more you, the less you effort, well, let's put it this way. The more you effort, the more spin you give to the ball, and the higher up in the funnel it stays. Now, you might become quite comfortable circling around at the same place on the funnel. And that would be called stupid rest. But when you abandon the willfulness, when you say, Thy will be done, when you ask, what is your will? And you listen and you hear and you follow, then you have abandoned willfulness, and what happens? The ball loses momentum. And through no effort whatsoever, in fact, in the absence of all effort, it spins more and more slowly until it finally falls completely out of the funnel. So yes, there's rest. Not all rest is stupid rest. Intelligent rest is not expressing human will.
The example created images, and then I passed judgment on it in terms of personal experiences in life. But in meditating, I work past the busyness of my mind, thinking that that's a lot of trouble, until I realize how hard it is to stay awake. And falling asleep becomes the problem. And I'm seeing now that there is, the only way out is to politely, consistently pay attention.
Indeed. Consciousness is the state of attentiveness.
Not work, not rest.
Mind rests in action. But what does mind do? It observes. In other words, it pays attention.
Acknowledges
That's effortless.
what's real.
Pardon?
Acknowledges what's real.
Indeed.
One of the handiest tips you've ever given me.
You are quite welcome. Okay. Any more? Yes.
In your answer to my question yesterday, you mentioned, I think, that whatever earth changes might be coming would be for the best. And
That they would be healing.
healing.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could elaborate on that and how, if at all, that would affect the Puget Sound area?
No. My point, and the only thing you really need to give your attention to, is that any earth changes that happen will evidence greater harmony. And it won't be harmony arrived at through conflict or disaster.
I guess I'm not understanding what you meant by earth changes then.
Well, let's put it this way. I mean, natural functions of the earth, we'll put it that way, natural functions of the earth will happen more harmoniously if there are necessary adjustments of the plates. They will happen in a manner that will not be disruptive and dangerous to life. They will be gentler. The holes in the ozone will begin to fill in. The natural harmony of what the earth really is will begin to spontaneously be evidenced.
Okay, thank you.
It is extremely important for you not to be afraid of the earth, as I mentioned yesterday, just as it is extremely important for you not to be afraid of your body. Because when you become fearful, you become defensive. And what you become defended against, how can I put it? When you become defended against something, your perception of it becomes distorted. It does not become distorted, but your perception of it becomes distorted. And so if you do not want to experience distortion, you must abandon fear. And in abandoning fear, you will become less defensive. And in the abandonment of your defense, your perception will become less distorted. And so what you see will be similar to what this lady was just talking about, where it was so beautiful she wondered why everyone hadn't pulled over to notice it.
Okay, thank you.
Your fears, all of your fears, cast a shadow ahead of you. Now, just because something is in the shadow doesn't mean there's something wrong with it. It just means you can't see it as clearly, and you can't appreciate it as fully. And it becomes much easier to engage in false imaginations about what is there in the shadows, you see? When nothing is there in the shadows except the glory of God, waiting for you to become undefended against it so that it can register with you. Now, no matter how many people believe in Armageddon, they cannot make it happen. And no matter how many people imagine that there will be great earth changes that will be catastrophic, they can't make it happen. So don't waste your time trying to find a clear channel who can tell you exactly the nature of the catastrophes that are going to happen so that you can be prepared and suffer the least amount of distress. Instead, take a look at your world with curiosity to see the more of God that is there than you are currently seeing because you're so defended against seeing it. That's love. And love transforms. Not a world out there that needs to be transformed, because the world out there is the kingdom of heaven seen through a glass darkly. It's getting rid of the glass that you're seeing through darkly. And you get rid of the glass by looking for something, by looking for the truth. And I'm telling you, and I'm not the only one saying it, I'm telling you that the truth is that the only thing that's available for you to experience is reality, is the kingdom of heaven. It is what's in your face. And to be curious to see it is to begin to practice love. Because you're not insisting upon your current definition of it. And you're willing to yield up your current definition of it by virtue of engaging in curiosity. To see what there is about this leaf that is unchangeable and eternal. And yet, to be unchangeable does not mean to become freeze-dried, dead. Living means alive. It means not static. So that which is eternal is not static. You see? Go ahead and say it.
I'll think about that. I don't quite see it, or I see it.
But you see the point, the value of not looking for the clearest expression of what future tragedies are going to be, so that you can be well defended against this earth that can act at odds with your best interest.
Yes.
And instead, be consciously embracing it for what at least you've been told it truly is. And dare to look at it with the premise that what is there for you to see is the presence of God. And explore whatever experience follows that, rather than exploring the best ways to be prepared for catastrophe. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to get at.
Okay. Thank you.
Or that's the point I'm trying to convey to you, and you have gotten it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.